Amazon spokesperson told CNBC it's working on addressing gaps in its routing system and improving capacity planning, hoping to give drivers fewer stops.
They have to ease up on the time. Stuff happens on the road, and it's not always the driver's fault. But the idea that a driver feels like he can't eat lunch or go to the bathroom, he or she, is a problem. People are hitting folks in crosswalks. They are hurting their own bodies because they're so afraid of losing their jobs because they have to get these routes done. So either hire more drivers or just say maybe things won't get delivered in 2 days.
Sending back an online order has never been easier. It's often free for the customer. Refunds can be instant. You can drop off Amazon items at Kohl's, UPS, or Whole Foods without boxing it up or even printing a label. Sometimes Amazon even tells you to keep it. But the truth is, there's no such thing as a free return.
Somebody has to pay for that. And it's falling back on either Amazon or the third-party seller. It comes out of their bottom line and inevitably makes prices go higher.
In 2021, $761 billion worth of merchandise was returned, and more than 10% of those returns were fraudulent. And sellers told us they simply end up throwing away about a third of returns.
From all those returns, there's now nearly 6 billion pounds of landfill waste generated a year and 16 million metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions. That's the equivalent of waste produced by 3.3 million Americans in a year.
UPS predicts a 10% increase in returns compared to last holiday season, meaning more waste and expense for all online retailers. At the head of the pack, Amazon has received mounting criticism over the destruction of millions of items. Now Amazon says it's working toward a goal of zero product disposal. It started refurbishing, reselling, and now sending pallets of returns to be auctioned off on the booming liquidation market.
I thought I was getting a return box. Turns out I got a 423-pound pallet. Coffee makers 8 and 9, couch cover number 3, couch cover number 4.
As unwanted holiday gifts flood the market, we wanted to find out what really happens to e-commerce returns. Before the rise of online shopping, returns were simpler. Buy from a store, return to the store, the item is inspected and usually put back on the shelf. But returning online purchases is far more complicated, and at least 3 times more likely, says Tobin Moore, CEO of return solution provider Optoro.
E-commerce results in 25% of all goods sold being returned. Brick and mortar is about 7.5%.
With online holiday sales up more than 11% over last year, returns numbers are breaking records. During the holiday shipping season from November 14th through January 22nd, UPS said it will handle 60 million returns, up from 55 million last year. It estimates that 1 in 4 Americans expect to make a return this season, and 41% expect to return 3 or more items. Before the pandemic, in 2019, Optoro estimated 67% of consumers preferred to return online purchases in a store. By October 2020, 60% preferred shipping items back.
This year, we're expecting $120 billion of returns from the holiday season, and that number was at about $100 billion pre-COVID in 2019.
The convenience of e-commerce has normalized shopping habits that lead to more returns.
Wardrobing, where people will order the same thing in 3 different sizes to see which one fits, and then they return the other 2, not realizing that those other 2, most of the time, don't go back on that retailer's shelves.
Categories like apparel see really high return rates in the tens of percents.